Good morning, everybody. This is Kevin Rice. We're going through A Course in Miracles. We're going through the workbook for students, lesson 41. God goes with me wherever I go. It's a powerful, powerful lesson in A Course in Miracles. I, from time to time, go between the text and the lessons, and this morning I was guided to go to the lessons. And I want to say a very important conveying and impart a very important statement to you. Every single lesson that we go through personally in A Course in Miracles is powerful, okay? So I'm saying this because if you go through the lessons, especially the first 50 lessons, which is powerful, it asks you to take some time, to close your eyes, to spend 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes, particular to the lessons that you're reading that day. And if you are doing the lessons properly, you will experience the effects and the demonstrations and the manifestations of the lesson. If you are not doing the lessons properly, you won't experience it. Okay? You say, Rev Kev, I'm so distracted. It's so difficult for me to meditate. Look, it was difficult for me to meditate as well before I even started A Course in Miracles. And I used to have a single candle, a flame in a dark room, and fixated on it every day, up to an hour, to make sure that I was focused. And it really helped me to be focused with the lessons of A Course in Miracles. So I just want to say that, okay? Also, if for those that are new, and I know we have one woman from Georgia here, beginning the lessons and so forth, it's important as well to use the text simultaneously because the text is the theoretical foundation of the course, okay? And you'll understand the lessons better if you are using the text and the manual for teachers as well, okay? Are y'all doing okay today? Put a thumbs up. Okay, everybody puts a thumbs up. Great. Okay. So I'm going to give you my commentary on the first 3 paragraphs, and I'll stop and answer any questions that you have, and you can give your commentary or whatever. God goes with me wherever I go. What's today? Today is Sunday. So Friday, I went to Miami and spent a wonderful time with a few friends in Coconut Grove, where I used to live. And all the way there, I was saying to myself, God goes with me wherever I go. Okay? God goes with me wherever I go. When I walk my dog around the complex here in West Palm Beach, I say one of 2 things: God goes with me wherever I go, or who walks with me? Who walks with me? And who walks with me? God is walking with me. The mighty companions, as A Course in Miracles refers to you, the mighty companions, the Holy Spirit, the celestial angels, if you will. I am surrounded and I am in the company of the light, the love, the joy, the peace, the goodness, the kindness. That is our inheritance, our treasury, our identification, our reality. Today's idea will eventually overcome completely the sense of loneliness and abandonment which all the separated ones experience. You say, Rev Kev, who are the separated ones? The separated ones are those who believe they are isolated from their source, our creator, God. They believe they are isolated from the world, other people, okay? And the separated ones are called the separated ones because they believe in the notion and the illusion of what? The separation. All right. So today's idea will eventually overcome completely the sense that you are separate from God. It'll remove any sense of depression, deep sense of helplessness, misery, intense fear of loss, anxiety, worry, etc., etc. And it does that. Look, when you know who you are, the son or the daughter of the living God, who's connected to your creator, who's connected to everyone that you bump up against into this dimension, the sense of separation begins to dissipate. Okay. Many students ask me, hey, how do I begin to undo this sense of separation, which produces all of the guilt and the anxiety and the angst that follows from it? I always tell people, look, man, turn it around, right? You, if you see a person who is stubborn, right? You turn it around and you say, Kevin, have you been stubborn? Yes, I have been stubborn. Oh, this guy at 7-Eleven is a jerk. Turn it around. Kevin, have you been a jerk? Yes, I have been a jerk. Oh my goodness, this guy is so lazy. Kevin, have you been lazy? The answer is yes. Everything that we are experiencing in this dimension, in this world, is nothing more than an outward picture of an inward condition. And if my inward condition is being a negative Nancy or a gloomy Gus, then my world will outpicture this. This is the inner movie that we will see because we have produced it ourselves. This is very important that we understand this. The Course of Miracles in the text says, I have done this thing, and it is this that I will undo. I have dropped a pebble of division into the pool of awareness, and I'm seeing the ripples of it. But I can change my mind by dropping a pebble of love and unity into the pool of awareness, and I will see the ripples of it. I will see the minute solar system happening and playing out into this world. What a wonderful lesson, right? The separated ones have invented many, many cures, quote unquote, for which they believe to be the ills of the world. But the one thing that they do not do is to question the reality of the problem. So let's two components there. Let me unpack it here for just a moment here. The separated ones have invented many, many cures for what they believe to be the ills of the world. But you say, Kevin, but there are cures out there. Let's talk about this for a moment. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to the doctor, okay? I went 2 weeks ago to go through a surgery under my eye, and it's pretty good. My doctor said to me, boy, I've not met a person who heals so quickly. I said, well, thank you. It has nothing to do with Kevin Rice, by the way. So I did that, right? I had 2 brain surgeries where I had a bump in my head. I have 4 titanium plates in my head. So I went to the surgeon, the neurosurgeon. And those 2 instances is a symbol of healing, okay? So the Course is very specific about this. It says you can heal your body, you can heal your mind, right? And you can use quote unquote cures temporarily if you want to heal yourself instantly. Most of the time it induces fear, and we are not here to induce fear. We are here to induce love. So you can use temporary, what A Course in Miracles refers to as magic, taking a pill, whatever you need to do it insofar as it is enforcing fear in you, okay? But again, healing, love heals, okay? Fear does not bring healing at all. But this is very important, though. But the one thing that they do not question is the reality of the problem, all right? So they think the problem is my spouse is being a pickle. My boss is a jerk. My senator, my congressman, my congresswoman is going in an opposite direction. These are the ills of the world, and therefore there are cures to correct it. This is very important that you understand this here. This is a course in content and not in form of any kind. So we don't go into the dream state and trying to fix a dream state. We go back to the mind that dropped a pebble of division and dreamt a dream of separation. That is where the problem is, not into the world of form. Okay? So I'm not here to improve you. I'm not here to correct you because you're not broken. You are as God created you and not what you made of yourself. You are the light of the world. And you begin to know that you are the light of the world when you begin to extend and express that light to the world instead of using the tools of the ego, which we call projection, right? I don't like the world. Well, if you don't like the world, it is because you have repressed your own guilt and projected your own unconscious guilt to the world. They're the problem, not me. Okay? So I can't fix a dream, a play that's running in my mind. It would be equivalent, as my friend Alexander Marchand says in his book, The Universe is a Dream, it's equivalent to rearranging the deck chairs on the sinking Titanic ship. You see the difference here? It's useless. It's useless. Okay. And so therefore, you know this well. The ego wants you to run a narrative, a play in your mind of doom and gloom, birth, death, and rebirth over and over again. And it's very important to understand and to begin to laugh at it, as the last paragraph refers to, paragraph 9. We'll get to there in just a moment. I want you to see your world as a play, like watching Hamlet, right? Or watching a theater, okay? It's just a play that you have produced, written, and acted in. So this is why it's not serious or tragic, right? You get to a movie. I'll give you an example. You know, my spouse and I didn't even know this this TV show, but it popped up one day and Aaron was watching it. It was called Suits. Anybody watch the series called Suits? Nobody? Okay, one person in South Africa, yes. Okay. And it was interesting. You know, when I was a teenager, I always wanted to be a lawyer. And I used to actually be acted as a lawyer in theater on TV, on TV 50 in Kansas City. And I loved playing a lawyer. And, but I chose to be a minister instead, and I'm glad I did. Having said this, when Aaron and I are watching Suits, right? We get so involved. And just yesterday, Aaron and I saw a character in the play, right? His name is Lewis. And boy, he raises our temperature, and we just want to slap him, right? Because we think that it's serious. The show has tricked us in believing that what we are watching is real. And the characters within the TV show is real. And so what happens? It hooks us, it runs us. And why? Because it's serious. This guy should be fired and kicked out of the law firm. He's just a complete jerk. Why do they let this guy on this show every week? This is so serious. This is so tragic. I may have lost my marbles here. I may have lost my wits. This guy is just a jerk. Why? I have to remind myself, Kevin, it's a play. It's a play. The same is true in your inner movie that you're watching. It's a play. Kevin Rice's quirks, he has it. It's a character on a play in an inner movie. And so therefore, I can't take him seriously. You should not take him seriously either. Why? I say this almost every week, right? A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. You're just a character in a play. A false image of yourself has come to take the place of what you are. Secondly, here. So I'm saying this here. Don't my spouse and I question the validity of the storyline of Suits? Yes, we do. Or I do. I haven't talked to Aaron about this, but I question the validity of it. The question is, do you question the validity of the separation that the ego tries to push on you each and every day? You say, Kevin, there's so many problems here. No, there isn't. There's only one problem, one solution. The one problem is the sense of separation. The solution is the separation never occurred. It only played out in an inner movie or a TV show or a theater. That's it. The idea for today has the power to end all this foolishness forever. To end all this foolishness forever. In another lesson in A Course in Miracles, and I've used this for, I would say, decades, right? Where a voice of fear arises in my field of awareness. There's a statement from one lesson, I can't remember which one it is, but it says, a peace to such foolishness. Peace to such foolishness. And I say that. If there's a thought arising in my field of awareness, of fear, peace to such foolishness. Peace to such foolishness. Peace to such foolishness. You see, the affirmation and denial. You deny the denial of truth and you replace it with truth, right? There's nothing to fear. That's the denial of truth. God is only love. That is the affirmation. That is the truth. And foolishness it is, despite the serious and tragic forms it may take. It takes a tragic and serious forms in a dream state. Keep that in mind. It's happening in a dream state. Remember that with me, okay? Deep within you, however, is everything that is perfect, ready to radiate through you and out into the whole world. The alertness of your ego to others' egos is not the kind of vigilance that the Holy Spirit would have you to maintain. That's from A Course in Miracles. Let me repeat this. The alertness of your ego to others' egos is not the kind of vigilance that the Holy Spirit would have you to maintain, right? I'm going to repeat this. So I'm not here to correct any of you. I'm not here to improve you, right? If I'm trying to do that, number one, it's egotistical. And number two, I'm telling you that you're not the light of the world, right? And then finally, you can never be deprived of your perfect holiness because its source goes with you wherever you go. Remember, ideas do not leave their source, from A Course in Miracles in the text. Ideas do not leave their source. We are an idea in the mind of God. God is its source and we are its effect. And we have never gone away from our source. We only left our source in dream states, right? Remember the text? Adam fell into a deep sleep and in nowhere did he ever wake up from it. He went into a dream state because he engaged in one thing: judgment. Judgment, judgment, judgment. Pick the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, bad, good, right, wrong, beautiful, ugly, and so forth. A duality-driven thinking, which leads to what? Dream states, illusions. And this is why we can heal by understanding this, by understanding the nothingness of those things that we think are something or serious. Okay? So, one more thing on paragraph 3. Nothing can disturb your peace of mind because God goes with you wherever you go. Okay. So, the question on the table for you is this. This last week, has anything disturbed you or alarmed you? I'm opening the floor here for your questions. Just unmute yourself. I'm here. The attendee says, I use a powerful prayer from Saint Teresa of Avila. Let nothing disturb you. Nothing frightens you. All things are passing away. God never changes. Patience obtains all things. Whoever has God lacks nothing. God alone suffices. Saint Teresa. But yes, it is a very powerful lesson, and perhaps I can edit it into the replay so everybody would know what prayer we are referring to. I love it so much. May nothing disturb you, right? So thank you, Vianne. Anybody else? The attendee asks, what is the correct right way to forgive? Okay, first of all, let me just say, A Course in Miracles has a remarkable statement, right? Forgive your brother not for what he did, for what he did not do. Let me repeat this. Forgive your brother for not what he did. Okay, let me repeat this again. Forgive your brother not for what he did, for what he did not do. Okay? So let's pull back here. That what we are discussing here are dream states, illusions. And Jesus alerted Helen about this and said, hey, Helen, what we are discussing here are dream states. See, Kathy, you never forgive the truth. You only forgive illusions. Remember this with me. So if I get ticked from a character like Lewis in the show Suits that I referred to right? Because I was attacking him. What a jerk. He's constantly being a jerk to everybody in the office, right? What I'm forgiving is not Lewis. What I am forgiving is my interpretation I have laid upon Lewis. Okay? I have externalized him. I have materialized him. I have objectified him, right? As what? A body. Well, guess what? He's not a body. A Course in Miracles in the lessons, as you go through it, says, I am not a body. I am free. I am still as God created me. Okay? So what we are forgiving here are illusions. Number one. Number two, we do want to utilize what we refer to as extreme forgiveness. Okay? What is extreme forgiveness? Extreme forgiveness is nothing more than, number one, we forgive the content of the dream state, okay? The whole thing, right? And recognize that the content of the dream is not true. So we forgive that. And then secondly, the second portion of extreme forgiveness is recognizing that I'm the one who is dreaming the dream. Okay? So forgiveness then is really a forgiveness of yourself, right? The recognition that you and I have participated into a mind that is fragmented and therefore created a dream of separation with its parts and its scraps, and we weave a picture of nothing from it. 4, 5, and 6. We understand that you do not believe all this. Now, isn't this true, folks? Sometimes you have doubts, uncertainties about the course. Look, I have been teaching this for 32 years. Do I have doubts from time to time? Yeah. But I said to my friend at Starbucks yesterday here in West Palm Beach, this individual was describing a quote unquote problem. And I said, he said, what do you do if you have a problem? I said, well, I go to lesson 14, always, every day, right? God did not create a meaningless world, right? God did not create discord, and so does not real. God did not create a meaningless world. God did not create scarcity, and so does not real. God did not create a meaningless world. That's lesson 14. I also tell him that I always use it's within the lesson between lesson 1 to lesson 50. There's nothing that my holiness cannot do regarding whatever specific problem that there is, right? And I think it's lesson 79 and lesson 80, which let me recognize that my problems have been solved, right? The problem is not specific. As I said last week, it is not about a person, place, or thing. It's always about the content behind it, right? Is it a content full of fear, or is the content full of love? If the content is full of love, then forgiveness is natural, right? If the content is fear, the outpicturing of that is an inner movie of dread and tension and anxiety and depression and strife and war, right? So it's important that we include those statements from the lessons, those reminders, with these things: faith, belief, conviction, confidence. Those 4 things. If you don't include those things, then you're like spitting against the wind. Okay? It doesn't mean anything. And this lesson really reiterates the importance of you doing it slowly, as well as doing it with conviction as well. How could you, when truth is hidden deep within, under a heavy cloud of insane thoughts, dense and obscuring, yet representing all you see? The operative word there is all that you see. The physical eyes do not see, okay? Images do not see. This is in the Course in Miracles, in the first 50 lessons of A Course in Miracles. Images do not see. What I'm looking at is a self-image called Kevin Rice, and Kevin Rice, physical eyes do not see. They're only peering against darkness with artificial light lit up by the egoic mind. As A Course in Miracles refers to it as the darkened glass of the ego. So there's a difference between seeing and vision. Vision begins to occur when you set aside the temptation of judgment and attack and so forth. You see through vision through the eyes of the Christ. Christ cannot see through your eyes, but you can see through the eyes of Christ, right? The mystics in the East said, shut your eyes in order to see. This is why this lesson, by the way, is the first attempt in the lessons. And this is a footnote 52. Our first real attempt refers to the fact that this is the first meditation exercise in the workbook. As such, this lesson's instructions are foundational for future meditation practice. Okay? So it's important to meditate. to close your eyes from time to time and go inwardly, as this lesson is asking us to do. Today, we will make our first real attempt to get past this dark and heavy cloud and go beyond and go through it to the light beyond. There will be only one long practice period today in the morning. As soon as you get up, if possible, I get up every day, like 6:30, except today. I woke up at 8 because I woke up at 3 a.m. for some reason. But normally I get up at 6, okay? And the first thing I do is make some coffee, go to the lesson that we are doing. Reverend Yule Turnquist today did our lesson today, lesson 43, God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. And I did also with Alberto, lesson 289, the past is over. It can touch me not, which I love that lesson too. So yeah, it's important to me. Do you do this every day, Kevin? I have for the last 32 years. Why, Kev? Why? Why, Kev? Because we all need reminders. Everybody goes south from time to time. And it is nice to have a reminder. God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. As I said to myself in the patio with my spouse, I looked at his body. God is my source. I cannot see Aaron apart from him. God is my source. I cannot see my students here apart from him. God is my source. I cannot see this microphone apart from him. God is my source. I cannot see this book apart from him. It's my reminder each and every day. Because I don't want the ego to run me or hook me. I want to remember who I am. I want to remember and have a reminder of the light that lives within me, the light that lives within you. This is important. At the beginning of the practice period, repeat today's idea very slowly, then make no effort to think of anything. Try instead to get a sense of turning inward past all the idle thoughts of the world. Try to enter very deeply into your own self. We're not talking about the self-image here. We're talking about your mind, right? Your true self, your identification, the sonship, okay? So set aside the self-image, Kevin Rice, set aside his raucous, shrieking voice of fear that may or may not appear from time to time. Let go of the monkey mind. Empty your mind. Empty your mind, clean the slate, and allow the thoughts of God to be written on your mind for you, right? Remember with me that statement from A Course in Miracles. God's voice speaks to you, but you do not hear it because you are too preoccupied by your own voice, right? The voice of fear, the voice of the ego. So empty your mind of the cluttering, obscuring thoughts of the ego. You are better than that. I am better than that. And align yourself with God's mind. This is the purpose of this lesson. God goes with me. God goes with me wherever I go. Wherever I go. Miami, over the weekend, West Palm Beach here, right? Starbucks in the afternoon, maybe, reading the course. God goes with me wherever I go. God goes with me wherever I go. Okay. Let's go back to 7, 8, and 9. Oh, wait, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to be done. Okay. You are trying to leave appearances and approach reality. Okay. Look, all that we're looking at in this world are appearances. That's it. Self-images. We are pretending to be image makers, right? And A Course in Miracles provides the tools to understand that what we are dealing with is not reality, but images, symbols, signs, right? And those signs and symbols and images are nothing more than an inner movie that we are reacting to. That's it. And we are reacting to our interpretations of the images, the signs, and the symbols that appear on the screen, right? The play, the play, the play. Okay. The way will open if you believe, again, belief, conviction, confidence, and so forth, faith. The way will open if you believe that it is possible. This exercise can bring very startling results even the first time it is attempted. Let me just pause and tell you something here. It's true. It's true. If you're doing the lessons properly, you will experiencing startling results of it. Okay. One of the lessons, you'll feel like you're being lifted up and carried ahead. I think it's lesson 14 or 15 says you will see light episodes around objects and so forth. I have experienced this, okay, in different forms. It's different form for different people, okay, but they are definitely startling results. This is why I maintained and teaching A Course in Miracles, because I see the demonstration of it. I see the startling results of my meditation time with God. God goes with me wherever I go. And throughout the day, use today's idea often, repeating it very slowly and preferably with eyes closed, because it has nothing to do with your eyes, your physical eyes. Okay. Concentrate, and this I'm going to end on this. Concentrate on the holiness that they imply about you. God goes with me wherever I go. God, there is nothing that my holiness cannot do, because the power of God lies in it. Holiness. You guys are so full of holiness. There is no sin tainting you. There is no past or future covering over the present moment. There is only the holy instant. And I can carry that holy instant to you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Each second of every minute, of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, every year. Why? That's why I'm here. I am the light of the world. This is my function. This is why I'm here. And the same is true about you. You're all full of light. You're not full of darkness. You're all full of innocence and holiness, not darkness and not sin. You can indeed afford to laugh at fear thoughts, remembering that God goes with you wherever you go. And this refers to, quote, response to temptation, end quote, practice in which we respond to our fear thoughts or other upsetting thoughts by repeating the idea for the day. This allows us to laugh at our fears, since it reveals them to be pure foolishness. At the second paragraph says, lesson 41, God goes with me wherever we go. Okay, that's it. Any other final questions or commentary? Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
The attendee says, you said that this is a course in content and not form, which means we are content. Because you're familiar to it. In other words, you're so familiar with the world of form, the thought that you can go transcend it to the content of love is terrifying, right? People think, oh, if I do this, on the other side will be pure hell. I'm saying on the other side will be pure heaven, okay?
Right.
Pure happiness. So thank you, Reverend Ewell. Anybody else? All right. If no one has told you today that they love you, allow me to be the first. I freaking love you so much, okay? You're all pure light, pure joy, pure laughing, right? At the foolishness of the ego's version of quote unquote truth. Only the truth is true and nothing else is true. This is salvation. I love you all. A Course in Miracles says, to give and to receive are one in truth. I will receive what I am giving now. If you are inspired to support Unity on the Bay and myself, you can text UOTB to the phone number 73256 and you'll receive a link to enter your donation and then drop down to ACIM-Kevin Rice to indicate that your offering is directed to this class. Or you can give through the website, unityonthebay.org/give, and drop down to ACIM-Kevin Rice under Select Fund. Your donation goes to support Unity on the Bay and the time and value we put into providing these teachings. I invite you to also visit onlylovingthoughts.com for all our A Course in Miracles videos and much, much more. Thank you, and thanks for sharing this A Course in Miracles Zoom class with other people.